Okay.
And welcome to the program. My name's Tom Wise,
I'm Melinda McKinsey.
and we're unpacking some shit. Thanks for joining us. We were just talking about the fall. Go ahead, Melinda, please. Your memory.
Well, just that I do love the change of seasons. I had lived in Florida for 15 years and I was always bragging to the Northerners, oh, look at us, thinking it was so funny and great. But I have to tell you, I've been in New York 8 years and I love the change of seasons. And the fall was my dad's favorite season. So it makes me think of my dad, and it just feels crisp when you go out and I feed birds in the morning like old ladies do. And it's just a very happy time of like, oh, this feels like it gives me energy. It feels
Absolutely.
yeah.
No, I'm one of those people that live in Florida. I can't wait till October,
Yes.
November, December, January. Those are my favorite. And I am so sluggish in July and August and September.
Yes.
When is December going to end? So, I mean, but some people just love it. They just want heat and they want more heat. And can they get an extra helping of heat?
Yes. Exactly.
Not
Well, then
me.
this is your big tourist season. This is the best time of the year to be in Florida. So, do you think with the way the world is that I guess you guys are open, right? So, everybody,
100%.
okay.
Vaccine, virus, schmirish is what we say here.
Forget that you guys are open. So, we're pedaling back. So, we'll see what happens. And I know we didn't talk a lot before we started this. So, I know you probably don't want to do this, but I'm going to ask you because this is history in the making. Can
Yeah.
we just touch on that fucking debate from last night? Can we touch it and
You
then
know,
walk away?
I did have some notes today that I wanted to touch on it myself
Okay.
in just kind of an analytical sense, not an emotional.
Yes. I mean, it is history. What's happening is history. And then years down the road, when they use our YouTube shows for teachings and classes,
Absolutely, of course they will.
we want to be accurate about
That's
what
why
had,
we're that's
what
why we're recording in high definition. Please
well,
let me get the laugh lines out.
to live during a historical time is very important, and it's very important to share the facts about what's happening, and then we can always share emotions, but tell me the facts.
Do you think my blue shirt ends up in the Smithsonian?
Oh, it it will.
That's the check shirt. He didn't wear it that day, but it was actually on the chair in the background.
Oh my lord, I've been shopping for gingham. I can't wait till we match.
Oh my God.
There's some cute stuff out there.
My analysis scares the shit out of me.
Me too, go ahead.
Okay, so we know that Trump needs suburban women and black voters and minorities in general, right? In
Yes.
order to win. Okay,
Yeah.
we know that. I mean, that's even they say that they need that.
Fact.
So you look at last night, and he's asked to denounce white supremacists. I'm going to guess there's not a lot of brown people and suburban women that are, they're on board with white supremacy. That's just my guess. I could be wrong. I don't think I am. And he does not do that. As a matter of fact, then he calls out to the Proud Boys, stand down and stand ready.
Yes.
He also won't say that he'll abide by the election. He's already calling the election a sham 6 weeks out,
Yes.
even less than that.
Yes.
So you can see where this is setting up. Plus, they're going to push through the nomination, and they'll have an extra jurors.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
just because, let me just say this, just because you're, as a Supreme Court justice, you're nominated and put through by a particular president, doesn't mean you're that president's lapdog. I mean, these are intelligent, smart people. Hopefully, independent vote, and you're not obligated to the president. That's why we have a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court.
That's the hope. Yeah.
So my theory is, and this is really disheartening, is that he's given up on the election. He didn't even try to embrace minorities or suburban women yesterday, but he calls to the troublemakers to stand ready. So his plan is already to create chaos and
Yes.
dismiss the election. No matter, well, of course, if it goes one way, he'll certainly take that, but he's not going to be there if it goes the other way. And it's going to be, let's start a fire, because I think he knows that he may go to jail if he doesn't win another election and get some sort of immunity that takes him on to 4 more years, past the statute of limitations. Because the Southern District of New York, those guys are just lining up the charges to come after him for tax frauds and everything else like that, that window would pass during his second term. But if he doesn't get elected a second time, then he would be, eligible for prosecution. So it's all bad. It's absolutely all bad.
And those are all facts. Those are all facts. Those are not opinions or emotion. Those are facts.
We know that the Southern District is lining up charges. That is a fact. You're right. And he did call out to the Proud Boys, and he does not trying even, and he is dismissing the election even before it happens. I mean, this is like an avalanche. You see, 3 miles away, that mountain is already crumbling, and it's coming to town, and there's just watching it happen in slow motion.
Absolutely. And I will tell you, guess what I watched yesterday?
Ooh, voice in the crowd.
A face.
Oh.
Right? Is it a face?
Yeah, it's a face. You're right. So what'd you think?
Well, I loved it, and it was very disturbing. I recommend people watch it with Andy Griffin. It was like $3 on Amazon Prime. And what was also interesting about it, you could see what was happening. And I won't tell people because I think they should watch it. But what I found interesting, besides watching his ego grow, was how women were treated in that era. That young girl, when she got off the plane and all the reporters were groping her and they were lifting her skirt up so she would look sexier. And I was physically like, oh no. And she was like, ah, ha, ha, and laughing. And I thought, oh Lord. I do remember the era, even when I was in high school in the 70s, where men could slap you on the ass and nobody would do anything.
Let's make America great again.
Right. So the story was fantastic, and watching enablers and watching egos grow and people without any kind of education or experience coming to a place of power was feeding right into what's happening right now. For me, the debate, I encourage so many people to watch it, Tom. And then I admit about 10 minutes in, I texted all my friends. I said, I'm out. I'm not going to do it. My heart rate was going, and I was yelling at the moderator because I was saying, stop him. And he kept saying, please, Mr. President, please, Mr. President, please, Mr. President.
I mean, right out of the box, he's stepping on Biden. And I'm like, Mike Wallace, you've got to stop this now. I mean, we're 2 minutes into the debate and already it was turning into a shit show. You can't let somebody interrupt some other person. You get 2 minutes of uninterrupted conversation, and the next guy gets 2 minutes. Why were not those rules enforced immediately?
Well, and I will say, I follow both parties on social media because I want to see what both sides are saying. And I will say this morning, I was quite anxious to see the Democrats were saying what you would expect them to say is Trump was trying to bully and antagonize Biden and shake him up, and that Biden did great. And he did great by saying, listen, my son had a drug problem. I'm very proud of him. He owned that. That's what the Democrats are saying. The Republicans are saying, oh, look at Wallace. He stopped Trump 72 times and he only stopped Biden 12. Well, let's break that down. Trump got stopped 72 times because he interrupted 72 times.
100 times.
You know what I mean? So it's that kind of thinking. And they were saying, oh, Trump looked like a hero. He wouldn't stand down. And the Proud Boys today in social media are excited. People started posting the Proud Boys saying, we're ready to go, sir. We're waiting for you. He's antagonizing violence while complaining and saying Black lives is about violence. And you're right. I've seen, here's the word I saw today over and over again on Instagram and on Facebook because I don't do Twitter. Revolution.
Well, like he said, he's willing to burn the place down to keep out of jail. So he doesn't give a crap about anything.
No, he does not. But, we all know there's power behind him. He's not a lone wolf. So who is behind him that's also saying this is okay to do? No one's reeling him in. So what's going on with the party that they've not tried to soften that or fix that, or you know what I mean?
They love the power too.
Right. And that's something people need to remember. I think we're all in such shock of, you always know politics are dirty, right? But when it's in your face, it's quite stunning. And people don't know how to handle this hypocrisy in front of your face. And so they're like, oh no, you have to be respectful. We're way past that. We're way past that. So yeah, I think we're going to have some civil unrest, and I think everybody better hunker down and be prepared for it. I think especially here in New York, I know we're going to have some problems. And our issue here in New York is the police have stopped responding to certain areas because they're saying, you want to defund us? You're on your own. So
I'll tell you this. Plus, I'm noticing there's a really used to be the crazies. Now it's the regular people are buying guns.
yes,
You see people posting, buying a gun, whatever, and it's not just nut jobs. It's regular persons, just regular citizens that probably would never own a gun, not have any interest in it, but that's coming up on their radar. Just the way that I was buying, my water filtration gravity system back in March because we didn't know what the hell was going to happen with
yes,
power or whatever. Maybe it's best if I have at least a gun or a shotgun in the garage just in case the S hits the F.
Yeah.
I mean, that's real thinking.
And isn't it interesting that this is a part of our conversation now? I would have never thought that it, and I don't want to say one person because his party is supporting him. They could reel him in. I never would have thought that this Republican Party would get us to the point where it's a normal part of conversation saying we should probably get a gun now.
Yeah. No, exactly. It scares the hell out of me because you see it coming. You see that he's given up on even going after those voters that would, possibly give him a chance to win legitimately. He's just abandoning them and he's going to go the other way. Now, next is our bikers. Next are, disgruntled cops. Next are disgruntled military, former military. I mean, these are the people that he's going to start getting into his camp. It's violent people that want to have a violence. So someone they don't mind.
Yes. Yes. So, so it's historical. I'm glad we spoke of it, but that's also why I put this is my mantra in life. Life is an echo. And I think that's a very good example of what's going on now. What's coming out of people, what's happening on social media is a division. And it's not, we have different viewpoints. It's I hate you, you hate me, you are wrong, and I am right. That's what's happening right now.
Right.
We have to find a way to get along because the United States is not a United States. So we've got to figure it out. And I don't know the answer. I wish I did. I don't know, but I think you're right. We're watching the avalanche and we're all terrified. Some of us are preparing and some of us aren't. Look at you. Did you get more flowers? Was that from a lady girl?
Lady? No. I bought those. I put $5 in the budget every week.
I love that you do that. I miss going into the city and buying flowers. We don't have flower vendors typically in Brooklyn. They're all in the city, and I'm staying in.
I was so thrilled. I was I mentioned, how often do I talk about Costco? 3 times a show?
I mean, I think it's very important to mention our sponsorship of Costco.
The good folks at Costco. I did not buy those at Costco. I got those at Publix, but they have great flowers over there. Did I mention I bought a tomato plant, a pepper plant, and a hot pepper plant?
No.
I love it. For $13, you go to Costco and there's a full-size, giant, 2-foot, 3-foot tall pepper plant that's got 16 peppers on it already.
Wow, that's so cool.
And then there's another one with the full-size bell peppers. I mean, it's got 3 full-size bell peppers on it. And then the other one's a tomato plant. So I love it. I love going out and I'm making my little special sandwiches and I'm, harvesting the crops.
See, look at you. You're such a farmer.
Yes.
You're such a farmer. I mean, if it's end times and we're all going to go to war, I know I'm not a great pioneer lady. I'm going to have to survive on my wits. I'm not good at surviving off of plants and stuff like that. I'm going to have to get my strong people around me and hope they'll keep me alive because it's not my thing. I'm a city girl.
Yeah. Well, make it down to the ranch. We're going to get some guns.
Listen, I got my SUV's being delivered on the 9th. That's exactly part of the reason I upgraded from a car because if I have to take a long road trip, I need space for my pets.
Amen.
I'm not even kidding about that. So
you taking that big boyfriend too?
I don't have a boyfriend yet.
Your daughter's boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. He's 6'8". He needs to fit.
No. Will he fit in the car?
Yeah, that's why we got the Pilot because you can actually take the back seats and push it back farther, so he's got more room. That's exactly part of the reason we got the Pilot.
He is the brute squad.
You know what? he has a heart of gold. When we lived in our apartment in New York before we got the house,
absolutely.
there was a robbery downstairs. We were all up in the apartment and you could hear a woman scream. And I don't know if you've ever heard a woman scream who was actually in terror, like a terrible, it's a horrible sound.
I've got a story about that. Go ahead.
Okay. So we're up in the apartment and when anything is shocking, what do? How do you respond? So when this woman screamed, I froze because my first thought was, is someone being hurt and where are they? Where's the trouble? Will, who's 6'8", he didn't even think. Alex is screaming at him. He swings the door open. He runs downstairs to go help.
Wow.
It was an armed robbery. The guy had a gun, and he was attacking the woman in the hair salon. When Will went down there, she was on his back, and he was swinging her around. Thankfully, other people came in too. Later on, Will did not get hurt. The police came, but later on, I tried to counsel Will on how much I love his generous and kind heart, but at the same time, no matter how big and strong you are, nothing stops a gun. And to just, maybe, because I was dialing 911 as he was running, and, by then a lot of people had called. That's my go-to, calling the cops. Now I feel differently about it because the cops don't really want to help us here in New York, but
That's not true. That's not true.
You know what? It's not true. I will say that here's the truth of the matter. The cops are just as confused as we are. That for the first time in a long time, they're getting a lot of hate, and they're used to getting a lot of respect, and there's a lot of uneasiness being a police officer out in the public right now.
Well, I have to say, to a certain degree, they brought it on themselves. I'm going to say 95% of the cops are good cops.
Yeah.
It's like baseball players that were taking steroids. The good guys weren't calling out the bad guys. And It was a small percentage of baseball players, taking drugs. But the good guys were sitting on their hands because the old boy system or whatever the system of, don't be a tattletale. Well, you need good cops calling out the bad cops. This guy's got to go. This guy's crazy. I don't want to work with him. He's nuts. So once the cops start doing it, just the way the baseball players started turning on their own buddies. Good cops, get rid of the bad cops. That's all we're saying. Get rid of the bad cops. Don't protect the bad cops. Don't allow them to be prosecuted when they're doing bad things. It's a shitty job. I wouldn't want to be a cop.
No, I wouldn't want it either. And here's the thing that I've been, because I've been researching and reading and watching documentaries about the NYPD because they do support Trump. And
well, you know why they supported Trump?
Because they don't want to be defunded.
Well, plus nobody even asked the Democrats to participate, and the Republicans, Trump responded to the request that they're looking for support. So it was like a default, or it was like, yeah, okay, nobody else. So yeah, we're throwing our, it wasn't like he went out there and.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And it's a good manipulation of letting people go, wow, well, the NYPD, but what I'm reading is the corruption is up at such a high level. It's very difficult if you're just a lone cop trying to turn people in because people have.
Well, it's like Serpico.
Yes, it really is. So
on a bullet in his face.
So tell me your lady screaming story. What is it?
Oh, let me think if I can think of the year.
Okay.
1979, 1980.
Oh.
I'm
18 years old.
22 years old.
Okay.
And I've got my own bedroom in the house.
Okay.
Me, Jimmy, Patrick, and Mom living in the house by ourselves now.
Okay.
I am painting. My mom said, paint anything you want in your bedroom, anything you want.
That was nice.
So I decided to paint a square inside of a square, kind of like a maze, one of those.
Okay. Tell me why.
Because I was nuts.
Okay.
So it's brown and yellow, brown and yellow, brown and yellow. So I'm painting it all one night. And then I wish I had a picture. I don't think I ever took a picture.
Aw.
But it was crazy. And then I go at 1:00 in the morning, I go across the street to Jack in the Box as I was done with my my masterpiece.
Love Jack in the Box. They have the best tacos.
So my altar boy partner, Tim McAvoy, who was 2 years younger than me,
okay,
and was playing quarterback down in Champaign-Urbana. He's a big kid. I was like 6 something. He was like 6'4", 230. He was a big
Okay.
kid at
Yes.
20, much bigger than I was.
Yes.
So we're just, hey, so we're chit-chatting, and in the parking lot of Jack in the Box, and we hear the blood-curdling scream.
It's a horrible, it doesn't,
Oh
run,
my
your
God.
blood runs cold.
And it's coming from a car in the parking lot. So we run over there. Timmy's huge, opens the door and pulls the guy out, right? What's going on? Now the girlfriend gets out of the other side of the car and she's like, leave my boyfriend alone. Ugh.
Oh
You were
no.
just screaming for bloody murder. You were screaming bloody murder 43 seconds earlier, and now it's leave my boyfriend alone. Well, he gets out. The boyfriend takes a swing at Tim and
No.
misses him. You know, Tim's big, holds him off. He takes another swing. Tim's like, oh, he goes, hey, buddy, don't do that again.
Yeah.
The guy takes a third swing. Tim takes a swing at him and puts him out.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
And the girlfriend is now beating on Tim. I go, there you go.
Isn't it a shame? I will say I've been in abusive relationships like that. I've been physically abused by boyfriends, and it's hard because when the woman is attached that way, it's a very sick and unhealthy, you want to protect them. It's awful. It's an awful place to be. But I've also learned from abusers, the reason he swung at your friend is he's used to getting his way.
Oh
And
yeah, he thinks he's,
you
he
know,
thinks he's whatever. Tim is not a 118-pound woman.
right. So brave of you guys to just run over there like that, because in today's world, I don't know if you could do that
Well,
anymore.
it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You always would balance risk against reward. I mean, but clearly, if someone is calling and yelling and help,
You
or
have to go.
you got to go. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do? Stand back? I mean,
Yeah. No, it's terrible. I once got in the middle, when I lived in Florida, I got in the middle of two guys fighting outside in the Publix parking lot. Now, I'm 5'4". I'm not a big person.
wow.
And I wasn't even thinking about, oh my God, they could probably punch me. But I was so disturbed because it was a guy in his 40s and a guy in his 80s. And
Well,
I was,
yes.
yeah. So they were yelling, and the guy was doing this. And I'm looking around and people are staring, but nobody's going over there. So I stood in the middle of them and I said, we're not going to have this. Like I had authority. We're not going to have this. And the guy tells me, you better, get out of the way, whatever, get out of the way. This is before I moved to New York and grew a set of balls. So I looked at him because I wasn't aware of how I put myself in danger. I just kept thinking, you can't punch this old guy. I don't even care if he's wrong. You can't punch this old guy. Thankfully, people must have told the manager or something like that, because then a bunch of guys from the store came running out and they separated those two guys. And then I just went on my way. I didn't stop to see what was happening. I know that
Your
was
work here is done.
my work, take my cape off and go in this store. No, but I'm not saying I was brave. I'm saying I was so pushed by adrenaline. My adrenaline made me go step up there because I wasn't thinking anything other than, no, stop it, stop it, stop
Look
it.
at it. Paula is gonna re-listen to that segment again.
I love Paula.
You're so jacked that you told the old white guy to back off at the airplane.
But wasn't it like that for you guys when you heard that scream? Was your adrenaline really?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's funny. You either moved. I'm no hero, but especially with Tim on my side. Yeah, let's go find out what's going on.
But you're right. You have to run forward it. And that was the same way with Will. He had no idea what that woman was screaming. He was just running straight to danger.
Every man knows I can't live the rest of my life knowing that some woman was screaming, and then that 38 seconds you sat on your hands.
Yes.
What do I do? Then
yes.
Killed or something.
That's what Will said to me, because as I was trying to counsel him later, he said, Melinda, I couldn't have lived with myself. I had to go.
I mean, this is the same reason that men go to war, even though you don't believe in the politics.
Yeah.
You're defending your homeland. You're defending the women and children that are there. That's why you get up out. That's why you go volunteer. I don't know if women have that. I'm sure you showed that women have the same thing, but I think that's kind of a very innate thing that a more powerful person wants to protect a weaker person. At least the good person does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure you've heard this saying that if you really want to fight a war, send menopausal women. We are filled with rage. We will destroy everything. First, we'll mind fuck you, and then we will blow the room up. So that's our answer.
Wow.
It's a real thing. And as a woman, I can say that. You can't say that.
Oh, of course. I just like to tell women to calm down.
Oh, you know what?
That's
We
the trick.
super love that. We super love it if you tell us how our feelings are wrong and how to behave the way you prefer us to behave. It's so helpful. It's really helpful.
I'm just trying to be helpful.
Thank you. Thank
Calm
you,
down.
Tom. Thank you.
We never even got the topics today.
I know. That's okay. You know, we got off topic the other day too. Tell me, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I had Bow and Go. I don't know if you followed me on Facebook. That was a big topic yesterday. Also, flowers, short money, and take a hike.
Take a hike. Okay, mine are a face in the crowd, but we already talked about that. Being brave, which interestingly enough, we actually did speak of that.
You did.
Again, it just shows how I really always get what I want, which is just a lovely world to live in. I see dead people. Google this, and you know, I like my behind the scenes.
Oh, well, let's do I See Dead People, then do behind the scenes.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure at this point in our lives, we're all familiar with the movie The Sixth Sense, right? Yes. And what happened in The Sixth Sense. M. Night Shyamalan, when it came out, it was such a creative idea to do a film where you're watching it from one perspective, and at the very, very end, you find out it's not at all what you thought it was.
The Lord loves a nice twist.
I do. I love guessing, and I love it when I'm wrong, because I love my mind to be blown.
I remember seeing that was one, I think that's the only film I ever saw as couples. Tina and I and Jeff and Joni went together. I mean, we never go to the movies as couples. I mean, we never had, you got kids, you got all that.
Yeah.
And I was really afraid at that picture. I was like, oh my God, this is really disturbing. I was like, with, the shadowy person coming from underneath the crib or whatever was going on. I was like, holy crap.
I was so afraid, and it was so good that I went back and watched it immediately after, because then I knew the concept. I wanted to watch it from that perspective to, put things into place and make sense of things. So the reason I want to talk about I Want to See Dead People is, and this is a big secret of mine. My close friends know this. It is my deepest desire in this lifetime to be able to talk to ghosts or spirits, or be able to hear them and communicate. So I've been watching. Have you heard of this kid, Tyler Henry?
I believe I have.
He's that young kid.
Yeah, he's on E or something.
Yes. Now, I personally have gone to intuitives. I've gone to palm readers. I've had good and bad experiences. I will say, of all the experiences I've had, there's a couple people that come to mind that I have really enjoyed, because they tell me things that nobody would know. Right? If you go to an intuitive, they can't say your grandma loves and misses you. Well, no shit. That's not going to make me cry. But if they say your grandma's teacup that was in the attic that you used to have, share tea time with her, then my mind is blown, right? So I've had that happen. So we live by a cemetery. For many years, I wanted to speak to dead people. So I pray to God, whatever anybody believes in. I also practice Buddhist beliefs, which is there's no judgment. Everything is what it is, but I pray. So what I've learned is, if you want to talk to someone on the other side, you have to protect yourself, make sure there's no darkness. And I'm sure at this point I've lost a lot of people because they're worried and think that I'm crazy. But here's the thing. If we're going to have a revolution anyway, and everything's going to shit, shouldn't you try all those things that you maybe put on the back burner? You're like, that might be too crazy.
Absolutely.
So far, the reason I'm telling you this is I haven't had any interaction yet, but I am trying, because I do have very vivid dreams about, I have a biological father and a father who raised me, and I have very vivid dreams about my dad's, because it's just been a big part of my life of that, right? So I'm waiting, and stay tuned. So when it does happen, I'm going to share it with you, because I've been asking very specific questions, and I'm waiting for the answers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you know that I think that my house is haunted?
No. What? I've been to your house so many times. Why didn't you tell me?
Well, it freaks some people out, so I don't say it to everybody.
Tell me more.
Oh, when I'm sitting on the couch watching TV,
Yes.
You can hear footsteps in the hallway. I mean, on a regular basis.
Do you
4
ever
nights.
talk to them? Do you ever say anything like,
I never do. But here's the odd thing. When I go upstairs, I never hear anything. When I go upstairs, I never hear anything, which is crazy. I mean, it's like it's a dance party some nights, and then I go upstairs, quiet.
see?
And I've never been a really fan of ghosts and things like this, but I've come to the settling in my head like, okay, if this person appears, fine. What this so far I've lived here 10 years, nothing bad's happened.
Right. Yeah, I think there's definitely good and evil, like depending on what's going on. I mean, I will say as far as like ghosts and apparitions with spirits, whatever you want to call them, the closest I ever came to was when the pandemic started. I started having a lot of dreams about my biological dad. And because I wasn't raised by him, I only have a couple pictures of him. And I remember asking him, like, through like whatever, saying, you know what, Dad, I would love to have photos of us because I didn't meet him till I was 18. I moved out to LA to be with him, but all the pictures got lost. And so anyway, so I had a dream, and in my dream I told him, I wish I had more pictures of you, right? I wake up the next day, my half sister who lives in LA said, "Hey, I was going through things in the house," and she sent me 3 pictures of me with my dad the next day.
That's crazy.
That's kind of cool, right? But I
Yeah.
didn't want to, I didn't want to go, oh, magic, but that got me excited. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to dig into this and see if more things can occur, because I think there's many dimensions. I think
Look at that. It's Dad saying hello.
obviously my dad's here. I can't be responsible for what's happening behind me.
That's
I think
crazy.
there's many dimensions. I think we're on this dimension. I think people are able to talk to spirits because they just go to another dimension and they're able to open up that consciousness. That's what I think. So thanks, Dad, for knocking over my sign.
Yeah, why can't you do the dishes? You can have a little bit of extra energy.
Dang it, man. So yeah, so I don't, and here's the thing, Tom. I don't care if people think I'm crazy. I don't give a shit what
We
anybody
all
thinks
do,
about me.
believe me.
Yeah, no, I'm totally fine with that.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How many extra IQ points is this?
Oh Lord, yeah. I'm gonna give you at least 5 more. 5 more. I think you're already at genius level. We don't want to get you too cocky. Yeah, chewing on the end. Yes.
Well, let me just tell you, Senator.
Yes.
If we
Glasses
don't
make
reverse course at this moment, I found these are prescription glasses that I had made for me many, many, many years ago,
Yeah.
and they never really were right. The prescription was always off. I just wore them, for a little bit of distance.
Okay.
Look at there. Something's going on. Look at that.
I love my glasses. When I am not working, I wear glasses all the time. I just wear my contacts so I can see far and close up. So let's do.
Other than that, you could see the middle part just fine. Far and close up. What else? What's left?
Well, no, I'm saying when I do this, I wear the one contact so I can see you because you're at a distance. But if I want to look at this, I don't have to put readers on. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So tell me, what's your topic?
Well, we're almost done with the show.
No.
Yeah. I want to do take a hike.
Me too.
All right. Well, this is my shirt. Here's where COVID has affected me. And I was thinking about this yesterday. Every year I go ahead and for the last 17 years, probably 14 times, I've gone back to Sun Valley to take this hike up the mountain last Saturday in September.
Right.
And did not do it this year.
Yes.
For obvious and not obvious reasons. I wasn't ready to go back on a plane. My kids weren't ready to go on a plane.
Yes.
And I said, well, that's just frivolous travel. It's really not necessary. It's not like I'm going somewhere for business where it has to be done.
Right.
I kind of missed it. And then, of course, on Facebook and all those memories are popping up this week because the Saturdays would drop on different days.
Yes.
Yeah, and this kind of ties in with the put something on the calendar. There was literally the only singular thing that I have engraved in the calendar that I would do every year for whatever reason. I missed a couple of times for a couple of different reasons, but yeah, I missed the hike. But they had,
Yeah.
I looked it up. You had to wear a mask. They were sending people off in heats of 10. And the second it used to be a very social event at the top. And then there was another social event at the bottom where they give away awards. They said there won't be, once you get done, you get on the gondola, you mask up, you get your jacket, go back downstairs. There will not be any award ceremonies. So I'm like, when I saw that, I go, well, I'm
Yeah.
sorry I missed it, but it's a very abbreviated version of what the event usually is every year. You get a chance to talk to people, meet people, and
Right.
it wasn't going to be that at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And you know what? And I didn't mind sharing a little bit of inconvenience as how horrible this has been for so many people, losing loved ones and out of work and, money, this. You know what? I can miss a little hike. So,
yeah.
even though I probably could have forced it for me, I could have gotten on a plane and gone myself.
Right.
But you know what? Why don't you suffer a little bit too?
Well, you know what? I think that's a great example, Tom, of how we're willing to adapt during this time. I've seen all stages of adapting, and I'm trying my best to adapt. I feel fortunate. I don't want to say lucky. I feel fortunate. I still have a job. I'm able to still bring in income. A lot of people cannot. So I'm not willing to push the limits and get on a plane or go on a trip because I feel like I don't want to risk. I believe COVID is real. I believe people are dying from it. I know people that have died from it. I also know people that have gotten very sick and have bounced back, but we're still looking at the long term of your lungs and your heart and everything else. So
and I was so disappointed when Joe Biden had his opportunity to talk about COVID that he didn't hit any high points at all. I mean, all
yeah.
you had to say is, here's what you should have done. He never laid out what his plan is or what his plan would have been. All you have to do is, President Trump, if all you did was copy South Korea, we would have around 3,500 deaths, if not less. That's all South Korea did. Masks, social distancing, testing, temperature checks, also tracking, all in place by February 18th. February 18th. We were both alerted of the same fact that we're, our countries independent were, identified at the same time. We had our first cases at the same time. South Korea has less than 400 dead, population 50 million. Why doesn't Joe Biden have that in his back pocket?
No, I'm very disappointed. I wanted him to do more, but I will say, as someone who has a history of stuttering and who has a lot, in your head when you're doing that kind of a very important talk, I thought he handled himself well, but I think he should have thrown more punches. He didn't throw enough punches.
Yeah, I mean, there could have been more, much more.
I mean, in my head, I was thinking the smart way to deal with a bully, because I've been involved in bullies, is you belittle them in a way where you're like, it's okay, you're limited. I understand why you're saying that.
Right.
You don't understand. It's okay.
It's okay. You're a small mind. You got to.
You're a small person, and right. You did your best. This is the best you can do. People died, but Trump would have lost his fucking mind. But Biden didn't do it, and I really thought that he would. I wanted him to say.
Where's the prep? I mean, where's the prep, Laura? Wait a minute, you've been prepping for this thing for 3 months, and that was it. Where's the prep? Where's the 10 points you're going to drill in? Not like Trump was determined to bring up something about his son, and Trump was determined to bring up something about, you've been here in politics for 45 years. I've been in for 45 months, and
yeah. But Trump is good with media, and he knows if he does catchphrases, they will grow in spite of whether it's true or not. And they were. His catchphrases were the 47 versus 47. I can't even debate with you now because you have your glasses on.
Senator, we must reverse this course immediately.
So we'll see what happens. I don't think there's any undecided voters. Do you, Tom? They say that there are, but how could there be?
You know what? I watched last night with an undecided voter, and she was like, I'm not telling you, this person must have been in a box. Doesn't watch news, doesn't do this, and was like, who are these people? Didn't know about Joe Biden's, daughter and wife being, killed in a car crash. Didn't know about the son having cancer. Didn't know about, Hunter Biden's little dalliance with drugs and stuff. was like, didn't know anything. Didn't know anything about the impeachment or this and that. And I go, wow, what an interesting way to go. But you know what? Had a different agenda, raising her son,
Yeah.
that, right? Not going to be, so maybe ignorance is bliss. But she said she's going to watch it and make her mind up. 3 minutes in, oh, that guy, Orange Man, is bad.
Oh,
The old man is old, but he seems to be more reasonable.
I do think it's interesting. In 2020, we still have two old white guys up there. What's
Ugh.
happening? Come on, man. Come on.
Give me Mayor Pete.
I
I'll
know.
take-
I know.
I would have take. Boy, you listen to who was I listening to the other day? The guy
Adam
from-
Carolla. You always listen to Adam Carolla when you go to Costco.
I don't know. Is the female she's older too, but she's so super sharp. She ran for president. What was her name? East Coast gal. She's in the financing. She's a senator from and does a
hold on. I see her face. Oh, I hate when this happens.
short hair.
I know exactly who you're talking about. What was she saying?
Well, she was grilling the guy from the post office about, was it a guy from the post office? She was at a Senate hearing and she was grilling somebody about having financial interests in developing a vaccine. She asked Fauci, do you have any stocks in any of these companies that are developing the vaccine? He said no. He asked the center of the CDC, do you have any financial interests? He said no. Then she asked this other guy, and he's like, well, I don't know. I don't, my personal finances. Well, there you go. He goes, if you've got a dog in this fight where you can make money depending upon which way we go on this vaccine, you need to be recused. You need to be out of it. What was her name?
Yeah, we've just let that stuff go, slide under, just like the taxes with Trump. We've allowed people with power to get by with things, and we're like, oh, that's how billionaires are.
Well, he said he paid millions and millions yesterday, right? Really?
He did.
He paid millions and millions, not $750, but millions and millions. Well, please release that and call us all liars.
That's what everybody said. You can show your last page of your tax.
Just show the little
page.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it, which is weird because he really.
Oh, you could just shove it up Joe's ass.
It's just fake news. It's all fake.
You paid millions and millions. Millions and millions.
I know. Yeah.
All right, there we go. We try to avoid politics on a regular basis, but we just couldn't today.
Can't help it. But I think it's very exciting that a ghost came on our show today and knocked my sign down. So,
you saw it live. This could be the best show ever.
This could be the last show was the best show ever for sure.
All right. Well, my name's Tom Wise.
And I'm Melinda McKinsey.
And you've been unpacking some shit. Thanks for helping us. And we'll see you on Friday, right?
Yes.
And we're out.